back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vids, and this afternoon's video will be my round 4 Super League tips for 2022. Now, I know I usually upload on the Tuesday normally when I do my Super League tips, but I guess due to things happening yesterday, got caught up in a lot of other stuff that are probably a bit more important at that stage. So that's why I probably had to do the video today, which is fine because most people do their videos or Super League tips on the Wednesday anyway. So yeah, this should be okay. I don't think there's an issue with doing this, but yeah. Anyway, this should be a good week of footy. Got 5 out of 6 last week, so I really am trying to get that 6 out of 6 this week. So fingers crossed I finally get there because it's been long enough, and I've been pretty consistent with my tips. But again, it's only like 1 or 2 tips away that I'm usually away from getting it 6 out of 6. So this week has to be the week, hopefully. But anyway, the first game, Leeds Rhinos versus Wakefield Trinity. My tip for that game. Getting to the first game of round 4, it is Wakefield Trinity versus Leeds Rhinos. There it's the home ground of Wakefield, Be Well Support Stadium, I'm pretty sure it is. And yeah, both sides have kind of started the year a bit poorly. Obviously, Wakefield have not won a game yet. Same with Leeds, which is a bit of a surprise. Both teams are sort of 0-3 to start the year, so it's a bit bad. So obviously, one team this week or this round will actually get a win for once. So it'd be interesting to see who wins. And it's tough to tip because both teams have both been bad, so it's hard to get a read in both teams and kind of determine what way goes where. Yeah, obviously Wakefield had not a great, they were good against St. Helens. They gave it a go, but they lost 20 points to 4. So obviously not the best result there for Wakefield, but they were courageous, so at least they gave it a go. So that's the main thing. And Leeds lost as well. So yeah, look, it's tough to tip, but I think I will lean towards Leeds. I think Leeds are due for a win. They're due for a game where they do turn up and win. I know that they have a lot of injuries and all these other players out, but I think they're a better side slightly than Wakefield. But you never know. Wakefield have been pretty good this year, so they could surprise. But I think Leeds will finally do it. So I'll tip Leeds by about 4. On to the game on Friday. It is Warrington Wolves versus the Catalans Dragons at Halliwell Jones Stadium, the home of the Wolves, the Wire. So, yeah, based on last week's results, I think last week Warrington had a good win. They obviously defeated Toulouse pretty easily, 32 points to 18 was always going to happen. And as for Catalans, they had a slight win over Leeds. It wasn't the prettiest win, but they still got the job done, so that's the main thing. So yeah, both teams looked alright. I think both teams sort of started the season alright, although I think the Wire have the edge over who started better between Catalans and them. Yeah, it's tough to tip because I think both teams have been in good form, and both teams are obviously going to be title contenders this year, so it's a tough one. But I think I'll lean towards Wolves just because it's at their home ground, and obviously I think they've been in good form. Like, some of their players have really looked pretty good the past couple of weeks. Williams has really took over. Whip, looked alright. So those type of players have all stood up and they've all given it a go. So, and players like just in general, some of the players, they've all been pretty good. So I think Warrington will be too good and win by about maybe 6 points. Now, the second game on the Friday, it's my club, the St. Helens versus, Hull KR, and this game's at Craven Park, the home of the Robins. So, yeah, it should be an interesting match, this one. Obviously, Hull KR got their first win of the year, I'm pretty sure, last week, so can they back it up again? And Saints obviously on a 3-game winning streak, can they extend it to 4? Have to wait and see on Friday. But yeah, obviously last week's results, so if I go there quickly. Yeah, so last week, Hull KR defeated Castleford. I tipped them to win that game as well. They won 26 points to 10 over Castleford. And obviously, my Saints defeated Wakefield. Not a very convincing win, but it was enough to get the job done by about 16. So, yeah, it was good to get a win and win 3 games to start the year straight. So, not the worst start to the year. It's in fact a very good start, but not the worst performance by us against Wakefield, but could have been a bit better. But yeah, I think this will be a pretty good game, hopefully. But who am I tipping? I think it's pretty obvious who I'm going to tip. I think Saints will win just because I think they'll be too good, but I think there's a chance HKR can compete. They can compete during the game, so hopefully they can sort of catch up to us or keep up with us to a point where, you know, it does stay a bit close, like a 1-12 sort of scoreline. But yeah, I think Saints will just run away with it by about 14 to 12 points at least. Now on to the first game on the Saturday. It is Toulouse Olympic versus Wigan Warriors at the home ground of Toulouse, being Stade, Ernest, Walloon in Toulouse, and obviously Wigan Warriors are the away side for this match. So yeah, look, obviously Wigan have started the year very well. I think they've gone actually really well, better than I thought. I didn't think they'd start the year like this, especially with the distractions they've had before the year started with the Betfred situation and Hastings leaving. But, you know, they've proven some people wrong and they've gone better than expected. So good to see Wigan, I guess, sort of maintain their good form from last year and still bring it into this year. So they're looking good Wigan, and they come off a decent win by about 10 points over Huddersfield, winning at DW Stadium. So that's an alright win. As for Toulouse, you know, Toulouse showed good signs here and there, but they're not really a complete side yet, unfortunately. They've got a long way to go. They want to get anywhere this year. Unfortunately, they're the favourites to probably be relegated at the moment, along with Castleford. So hopefully Toulouse can somehow win the game soon and turn up for once. They lost to Warrington last week, 32 points to 18. So yeah, can Toulouse be a bit better this week, or will they still struggle to, you know, keep up with the better side, which could be Wigan on the day. So we'll see how everything goes. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the confidence in tipping Toulouse yet. I think it's a while away until they, you know, sort of do something, I guess. So, you know, I got to trust Wigan based on form at the moment. So Wigan by about 10. Yeah, this is the first game on the Sunday. It is the Huddersfield Giants versus Salford Red Devils. Kicks off at John Smith Stadium, the home of the Giants. I know in the background you could probably see Stade, Ernest, the home basically of Toulouse. So apologies about that, about not changing the background. But yeah, apologies for that. Should have fixed that before I did this video. But anyway, but yeah, you know, obviously Huddersfield, they came off a close defeat to a good Wigan side, losing by about 10 to 22 points to 12. And as for Salford, well, Salford have been in very good form lately, but up until last week when they got smashed or slaughtered against Hull FC, losing 48 points to 18, or 16 I should say, at MKM Stadium, it was very shocking, because I didn't think Salford would lose by that much. I knew Hull FC would win, but I didn't think they'd lose by that a lot. Salford. So despite the good start to the year, that they came crashing down that game. So yeah, I don't know what the confidence will be like in the Salford camp at the moment after that loss, but I guess a lot can change. But yeah, in saying that, I think this week I will tip Huddersfield. I think Huddersfield I can trust a bit more. I think they'll get the job done at home at John Smith Stadium. So I'll probably back Huddersfield to win by about 12, but I do think Salford will be competitive early though. On to the very last game of round 4 to close out the round. It's Castleford Tigers versus Hull FC, and this is at the home ground of Castleford. Now, again, I really do apologise about the background not being the actual home ground of Castleford. There is an issue with the processing of the images, so that's why it's stuck in that image. So, again, ignore it. Sorry about that. But let's just talk about the form of Castleford and Hull FC. So, obviously, Castleford have really started the year pretty poorly. Obviously being 0-3 at start of the year, not having a win yet in 3 games they've played. So obviously hasn't been the ideal start by Castleford, but you know, they've been okay. But again, they really do, you know, don't really stay in the match or maintain themselves during a match, unfortunately. So can they do it this week? Can there be a bit of an improvement this week against Hull FC? Have to wait and see. But as for Hull FC, actually, they had a very convincing win over Salford Red Devils last week, winning 48 points to 16 at home. That was a very good win. I knew they'll win, but like I said before, I didn't think they'll win by about that much. So that was a very surprising to me. But good on Hull FC. They're looking good, the black and whites. So, it's an interesting contest, this one, but I think I will go with Hull FC. I just think they're in better form. Castleford lack confidence from what I see, and I think, you know, Hull FC are full of it. So I think this is why Hull FC will be a bit too good, and I think they'll win by about 18 to 20 points at least. So those are my tips for round 4 of the Super League this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your tips in the comment section down below. But see you next week for my round 5 tips of the Super League. So thanks for watching again, everyone.